and we describe it as swamp soul is what we call it. And it's really just, you know, I write all the songs and stuff. It's basically just a combination of everything I grew up with, you know, and all those influences hit me at the same time. I never set out to write a specific style of music, I just write, you know. And with the horns and everything, it adds all those different influences, like Mobile has so many different influences. So we like swamp soul. It's like a soup, like a music gumbo. I started playing the piano between ages like 4 and 5. My mom said she couldn't keep me from banging on it, so she said she was gonna at least let me learn how to play it so it was bearable. So I've started early. Music has been with me my entire life. I can't ever remember a time when I wasn't playing music, you know, and when the times I wasn't playing music, I would get real depressed and stuff like that. It's just a part of who I am and what I have to do, you know. So yeah, I play guitar and I sing mostly now. I got burnt out on the piano. I did it for 14 years, classically trained, 2 hours a day. I mean, I was just burnt out. I've done everything with piano I want to do. I picked up the guitar when I was 15. My mom didn't want me to play it because it would take away from my piano, and she was right. But my dad snuck and got me lessons anyway. And man, I love it ever since, you know, and I really love singing is what I really, really love to do is sing. My voice is just one of those things. I honestly believe that God blessed me with a gift and that I'm supposed to share it, you know. I've had a lot of really great teachers through my life. My high school choir teacher, Ron Hall, was amazing. He taught me how to sing, and he gave me a love for performing. And ever since then, I just sing 24/7, you know, and it's just one of those things that, you know, I've always been a loud person. And I think that's just a natural thing. And so it all comes from right here, that gut, man, pushing that air through. If you can control that, you can get as much power as you want, so. You know, I grew up too with a lot of stage music. I did a lot of plays and stuff like that, yeah, and I really enjoy that. So you can see a lot of like that theatrical kind of singing style when I sing. It's just being confident and knowing that if I push hard enough, I can hit it, you know, and just doing it, just going for it and not holding back anything. Before I was 12, I didn't know popular music existed at the time. I only had all the music my parents grew up with. So anything from 50s on to up to probably early 80s. But Otis Redding, you know, Stevie Wonder, Wilson Pickett, James Brown, all of them are my vocal influences, you know, and then I grew up with, you know, I got into one of my teenage years, a lot of punk music, you know, a lot of rock and roll, a lot of punk, a lot of hardcore. And that's where all my energy comes from, is from that. But, you know, I even love Harry Connick Jr. and people like that. So it's just that classical music really just gave me an appreciation for everything and wanting to explore that as much as I can. You know, I played with bands when I was younger, just punk bands, just for fun. You know, we were just kids. We were playing, you know, house shows and stuff like that. But, you know, I quit music for about a decade or more. And when I picked it back up, it was just me and my guitar. You know, I picked up an acoustic. I was just going and I billed myself as the soul Mexican. and I just did solo shows, and then I realized I was like, man, I gotta have horns. You know, I gotta be like Otis, I gotta be like Wilson. And so I grabbed these guys, and I got a great group of guys, and ever since then, I don't even play solo no more. I just don't like it. It's not the same. You know, it's not, magic's not there like it is with these guys. A lot of personal stuff, but I just had some relationships, some marriage issues and stuff, and so it was just one of those things where I thought that it was past me, that my dream was over. I had to focus on other things, and it just got to a point where I couldn't ignore it anymore. I wasn't the same person that I was, you know, and that was 5 years ago I picked up, and here I am 5 years later on StudioAmped, so there you go. Man, I think I've always wrote just a little bit growing up, but my guitar teacher, when I was 15, he really encouraged his students to explore writing and doing something other than just playing music that was already done. And even the songs that I wrote that were terrible, he still encouraged them, you know. And so I think that was just one of the things that, like, I always wanted to just figure out who I was as an artist, you know, and I was always pretending, trying to be somebody else, or thought who I needed to be. And it wasn't until I just really picked up that guitar at a time in my life when I had to just get stuff out. You know, I had to get something out. And, And it just one thing led to another, and then all of a sudden I realized I had a talent for it, and so it took off from there, you know. I've done songwriter groups with some amazing people like Abe Partridge and Drew Nix from the Red Clay Strays and people like that, and those really helped to teach me how to write, but my process is a lot different from other people. I don't ever sit down intending to write a song. It's always something that just kind of comes to me, and then I'll pick it up and then I'll hyper focus on that for a good 2 or 3 days, and then I have a song. And I'll break it to the guys. But there's been songs that we've written during sound checks, you know. Somebody plays a little something, I go, wait a minute, do that again, you know, and then it becomes a song, you know, and so I love that, it's fun. The one reason I have my guys and I refuse to really play with anybody else is because they get me, you know. I can bring something in and within 5 minutes of me bringing it in, we pretty much know what it's gonna sound like, you know. I can sing, my horn guys, I can sing them horn lines. And they can go, oh, well, you know, what if we did like this, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, I give my guys a lot of creative freedom with their parts, you know, because they're a lot better at their instruments than I am, so why am I going to tell them what to play, you know? So, you know, they let me guide them, but, I mean, these guys are great. It doesn't take much. Well, if you don't do original music, there ain't going to be no music to cover later. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually you're going to run out of songs, but, I mean, original music should always be explored because, I mean, there's been so many great, what if those guys never took the time to write those songs? We would have missed out on so much. You don't know what you're missing out on and what you can accomplish. You know, I put it on a shelf for so long, and what I've done in 5 years blows my mind, you know, and my life is completely different because of it now. You know, I could have easily just still be slubbing away at a job, not doing anything, wishing and hoping and dreaming, but you know, I'm sitting here instead talking to you for TV. that's wild, man. You know what I'm saying? So you can find us on any streaming service, more than anything. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, a whole bunch of ones that I didn't even know existed, but we're on there too. Red and the Revelers is the easiest band in the world to find because we're the only band with that name. So if you Google it, it's like 3 pages of just us. I've got the market flooded when it comes to Red and the Revelers. But yeah, so this year we're putting out a vinyl. The whole album will not go on streaming. You know, we're gonna do those songs individually at a time over an extended period of time. So if you want the whole album, you gotta come buy the vinyl, you know. We don't make no money off of streaming. It's an advertisement at this point, you know. I just wanna play all over the world, brother. I wanna build our brand. I wanna take us to Europe. You know, I wanna go to Europe within the next 5 years. I think we would do really well over there. I'm gonna focus a lot of attention on that. We're also expanding into virtual reality a lot more. It's a very untapped market at this point, and there's a lot of people eating it up. I have a solo concert in VR this Sunday. And then, you know, we're gonna be, once this goes on YouTube, we'll stream it in there. We're gonna have a Red and the Revelers world built in virtual reality where people can come experience like concerts like in life size, you know, and stuff like that, and access our music and art, and sometimes the bands will drop by and do small acoustic concerts in there and stuff. The greatest drug in the world to me is getting on that stage and just letting myself go. You know, it's truly the only place where I can just truly be free to just do whatever I want and be whoever I want. You know, I could be larger than life on stage, and I don't think I'll ever give that up again. Hold on, because we're about to show you some great things in the next 10 years, brother. I can guarantee you that. I've never ride along some darling that'll make it to